Let's get right into it. Number 10, the magnetic sense. Picture this. You're walking into a room and your body somehow knows which way north is. No compass, no GPS, no Siri, where am I? Just a built-in navigation system in your head. Believe it or not, humans actually used to have that kind of sixth sense. Sort of. Inside your brain there are tiny magnetite crystals. Yes, literal crystals. That can react to the Earth's magnetic field. Birds still use them to migrate. Sea turtles use them to find the same beach where they were born. And humans? We use Google Maps and still get lost at IKEA. Researchers found that when people are exposed to shifting magnetic fields in total darkness, their brain waves subtly flicker, like your neurons saying, "Wait, did the planet just move?" But modern humans? We're basically magnetically tone deaf now. Blame metal buildings, GPS dependency, or the fact that our navigational sense probably gave up sometime around the invention of the cubicle. So yes, deep in your head is a biological compass that's just rusting in peace. Basically, your ancestors could sense north, and you can't even sense when your phone's on 1%. Number 9, the electrosense. Okay, now imagine you could feel Wi-Fi. Like the moment you walk into Starbucks, your skin tingles. Not from caffeine, but from the sweet electromagnetic buzz of free internet. Ridiculous. Kind of. But ancient humans, and especially our aquatic relatives, might have had something close to that. Fish like sharks and rays have electroreceptors that detect electric fields in the water. They can literally sense the heartbeat of nearby prey. Early mammals, still dipping their toes in evolutionary waters, likely shared a hint of that ability before it faded out as we crawled onto land and started inventing rent. Some scientists even suspect human skin can still weakly respond to electromagnetic fields. But if you're trying to feel your Wi-Fi, what you're actually feeling is probably anxiety and dehydration. Evolution basically went, you don't need to sense electricity, you'll just make it. And here we are, charging our phones like weird gods of voltage. Number 8, the echo sense. You're not a bat, hopefully. But your brain, it's got a hidden feature, a kind of low-key echolocation. Blind individuals sometimes develop it consciously. They click their tongues and use the returning sound to see their surroundings. MRI scans show their visual cortex actually lights up when doing this. Yeah, their vision part of the brain is rewired by sound. What's wild is that everyone has this ability at a baseline. You unconsciously sense room size by how sound bounces back to your ears. That's why an empty room feels echoey and a cluttered one feels cozy. Your brain's been mapping your environment this way forever. You just don't notice because your eyes hog all the attention. So technically, humans didn't lose echolocation. We just buried it under Spotify and small talk. Basically, you're a budget bat, minus the cool wings and sonar skill set. Number 7, the infrared sense. Imagine you're standing in a dark cave. No light, no phone flashlight, nothing. But you can feel where other creatures are, just from their body heat. Sounds like superpowers, right? Well, some snakes, like pit vipers, have this exact thermal sense. They can see heat signatures through special pits near their noses. Now, humans, we used to have a primitive version of this. Early mammals were nocturnal, and some fossil evidence suggests we had heat-sensitive nerve endings tuned to warm-blooded prey or predators. Over time, as we started relying more on vision and firelight, that sense fizzled out. You can still kind of experience it, though. When someone stands too close behind you and you just know they're there. That eerie someone's watching me tingle, a leftover from your prehistoric infrared radar. So the next time you sense someone creeping up behind you, don't panic. That's just your lizard brain running a firmware update from 100,000 years ago. Number 6, the Vomeronasal Sense. Let's talk about smell, but not the regular cookies kind. We're going deeper, way deeper. There's a tiny forgotten organ in your nose called the Vomeronasal organ, or VNO. Sounds like a secret villain organization, but it's actually a chemical detector, a pheromone sensor. Animals use it to smell feelings. Cats know when another cat's angry. Deer smell hormones and immediately know who's single. Even snakes use it, flicking their tongues like a little chemical detectives. Humans? We had one too, but now it's like an old Windows XP file buried somewhere in our DNA. Technically there, but not doing much. Scientists still argue about whether it works at all in modern humans. Some say it's completely shut down. Others claim it's just off, waiting for some evolutionary patch update. But back in the day, this organ could have told you if someone nearby was scared, fertile, or sick just by sniffing the air. Basically, you were a walking mood detector. Now, we rely on Instagram captions and "Are you mad at me?" texts. So yeah, your ancestors smelled emotions. You just smelled overpriced coffee and denial. Number 5, the barometric sense. Ever get that weird pressure in your head before a storm, like your skull's a weather balloon about to pop? That's not your imagination. It's a leftover survival feature. Humans once had an actual barometric sense. Animals still have it. Birds take off before hurricanes, dogs freak out before earthquakes, and cows literally lie down before rain, because apparently they read the atmosphere better than meteorologists. Humans, long before iPhones told us 80% chance of rain, could sense air pressure changes. It helped us predict storms, avoid floods, or maybe just decide whether to bring a mammoth-hide umbrella. But as we moved indoors and climate controlled our lives, that sensitivity dulled. Now when the air pressure drops, we just say, "Oh, my sinuses." So congratulations! You're technically a broken barometer with a job in Wi-Fi. Evolution traded your storm warning system for anxiety and seasonal allergies. Progress. Number 4. The polarized light sense. Here's a fun experiment. Close one eye, look at the sky on a sunny day, then slowly rotate your head. Some people can actually see a faint cross pattern or a shimmer that changes with angle. That's not a glitch in the matrix. It's called Heidinger's brush, and it's your leftover ability to detect polarized light. Bees use polarized light to navigate. Desert ants use it to find their way home. Even some fish see it as a secret map in the sky. Humans? We can perceive it barely. It's like trying to see Wi-Fi signals through fog. It's there, but our brains stopped caring about it somewhere between inventing sunglasses and forgetting sunscreen. Once it might have helped early humans orient themselves during long migrations or hunts in blinding light. Now, it just helps you accidentally see on a weird shimmer while trying to take a selfie. Your eyes still whisper, "We used to do cool stuff, remember?" And your brain replies, "Shh, I'm watching Netflix." Number 3, the water sense. You know that eerie feeling when you dive underwater and your whole body goes into some kind of ocean mode? Your heart slows down, your blood shifts, and your lungs basically go, "Okay, guess we're sea creatures again." That's called the mammalian dive reflex, and it's one of the weirdest, most ancient senses humans still partly have. When your face hits cold water, nerve endings in your skin send a frantic group text to your body saying, "We're drowning! Conserve energy." Instantly, your pulse drops, your blood reroutes to vital organs, and oxygen use becomes hyper-efficient. The same trick seals, dolphins, and otters use to survive underwater for minutes at a time. Scientists think our ancestors, coastal scavengers or part-time swimmers, once had a stronger version of this reflex, basically mini aquatic humans. Over time it faded because we got really into walking upright and, taxes. But that ancient water mode is still buried in you. That's why cold plunges feel euphoric, why you can hold your breath longer after the first dip, and why part of you feels weirdly peaceful underwater. It's evolution's gentle reminder. Hey, you used to be cooler, literally. Number 2, the empathic mirror sense. Okay, this one's trippy. Have you ever flinched when someone stubbed their toe? Or felt your stomach drop when you saw someone embarrassed? That's not just empathy. It's a ghost of a sense once more powerful. The mirror sense. Your brain has mirror neurons that fire both when you perform an action and when you see someone else do it. Once upon a time, these neurons were hypersensitive, letting early humans learn faster, bond tighter, and survive by mimicking. You didn't need a YouTube tutorial on how to make fire. You just watched and felt it happen. Modern life dulled that sense. Too much social noise, too many screens, and your brain's empathy dial got fuzzy. But occasionally it spikes, like when you watch a fail compilation and your whole body clenches as if you just face-planted. That's your mirror sense flexing its old muscles. Once, it was the foundation of human cooperation. Now it's why you feel secondhand embarrassment for reality TV contestants. So yeah, evolution gave us psychic empathy, and we use it to cringe scroll TikTok. Number 1, the sense of the self beyond the body. Now we're entering existential territory. Deep inside your brain's parietal lobe, there's a network that tells you this is your body. But studies show that ancient humans, especially in ritual or trance states, could suspend that boundary. They didn't just believe in spirits or gods. They felt them as extensions of their own awareness. This wasn't imagination. It was neurology. Under the right conditions, meditation, sensory deprivation, rhythmic movement, the brain loses track of where you end and the world begins. That's why monks, shamans, or even people dancing for hours describe out-of-body experiences. Anthropologists think that this was once a survival mechanism. Merging consciousness with the environment made early humans hyper-aware, calm, and weirdly fearless. Today we call that dissociation, or spiritual awakening, depending on your therapist. But really it's an ancient sensory feature we accidentally labeled as mysticism. You used to feel like part of the universe. Now you feel like part of your Wi-Fi network. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.